Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, and let's see what these tea leaves have to say. What do they have to say? And so, our card tonight is the Aeon or Judgment. And I love this card because it has "Knew It" on it. You can see right here. It also has Horus and Hippocrates. I always say it wrong. I used to call them Harpocrats. My husband's like, no, that's not how you say that. Anyways, the blue here. This is Knew It. The night sky. One of the primordial goddesses. The origin of goddesses. The great grandmother. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free. Yes, you don't have to pay for it. We'd love to have you become part of the community here. And if at any time during the video you think, yeah, this really resonates or it's really interesting, I really like it, please don't hesitate to like the video. All right, so I'm going to start right here. Now, it looks like a person with their arms up, and the head's right here. You can see the body here, okay? Maybe a little flower right here. And it looks like they're holding a person in one hand, like squeezing them. And then over here, it looks like they are holding maybe like an angel that has a trumpet, okay? Either way, really holding on to these two things. Maybe kind of swinging them around, I don't know. But really a position of power, a posture of power. Above the head, we have kind of these flames, okay? So this is really a highly emotional, passionate place that you are in, okay? I feel like, you know, when I see that, when we get the Aeon card, I think very much of kind of looking your life over. Getting to a place where you can kind of look at things, look at that self-mythology, and really kind of begin to face some of the things that maybe didn't seem so important before. But as you gain understanding of life, perspective, experience, you look back and you think, that was kind of weird, or that was kind of painful. That was not really a normal thing. Or this was something that, you know, it created or added to a long-lasting blockage, an energetic blockage in your path, your experience, your, you know, your makeup, your personality, your emotionality, whatever it is, okay? And so when we get to these points where we are with that, with Knew It, the grandmother there overhead, we are protected. Okay. Not only is she a representation of that source where all things come from, but she's also that beautiful night sky that is a reflection of all things, where we can stand and we can gaze into, and we can contemplate, right? But also the sky that protects us. The sky that, if you could think of, like, you know, protects us from those intense solar rays. So even though it is kind of the thing that we can divine in, right? Reflect within. It is also the thing that helps temper the soul, the sun, the soul, the brightness of it. Sometimes too much clarity or reality, you know, what we would call maybe the truth of things, can be destabilizing. It can be traumatic. But that beautiful night sky that knew it, that grandmother, she protects us. She gives us enough to think about so that we may begin the journey of our own mysteries. She doesn't hide things from us, but she gives it to us slowly so that we can manage it. Okay, it's an unfurling of things. So, anyways, we are here. We're looking at this old stuff. Okay, I feel like it is a place of clearing, of processing, of I don't know how else to say this, but the old terrible things that really were quite defining for you in your youth. Things that for one reason or another have come up, and you're really looking at it and thinking, this affected me more than I imagined. You know, and maybe because when it was happening within the context of everything that was going on in your life, it didn't seem as big a deal, or that you didn't really, you didn't have the space or right to feel the emotions that you needed to feel, or the emotions that you were feeling, but you had to kind of put those away. You know, and I'm thinking of, and the first thing that really comes to mind is something like the dissolution of a family, a divorce, right? Your parents going through a breaking up, the fighting, the anger, the resentment, the pain, the instability, the changes, swift changes sometimes, and, you know, all of the other things that come with that. And so often, especially, you know, if you're from my generation, Generation X and below, I think a millennial, technically. There was a lot of divorce going on. Maybe, I think for the first time, really, as widely than any other generation. So there really was a feeling, and I'm sure this continues to be the case, that when people's families were changing, it's almost like everybody's, you know, everybody I know, or at least a lot of people I know, are going through similar things, or they've already gone through it, or they will go through it soon. So I don't really have the right to feel too much. Just kind of, you know, what is expected. Well, it's still very difficult, right? It's still traumatic in a lot of ways. And depending on what it was like, it, you know, it could be more or less. It's also relative. All of it's relative. Pain is relative. Nobody gets to just win the, you know, the struggle Olympics or pain Olympics or whatever. It's relative to each of us. Okay, so, and this doesn't have to be the exact thing, but this is what comes to mind. Okay, because this is something we look at, oh, everybody's parents get divorced. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it is. It can be. Okay, for people who are involved. It can be quite destabilizing when it's happening. You know, and that's not this, I'm not against divorce. Don't get me cornered here on that. I am all about free will. But I do know, these are things that can be very painful, especially if you are, a child of it. Okay. So anyways, it's something like this, something similar, if not this exactly. And I see you really looking at this, and it almost, and it's not just almost, it is. This is a place where great karmic work is happening. And this is generational. This is individual. But it really is about settling a lot of emotional debts, processing these things, processing them. And as they're being processed, really starting to make big decisions about ending cycles, not passing the stuff on as much as you can, right? Changing the narrative going forward. So let's turn this over. The cats are starting to creep out. They were sleeping for a while. Now they're back and they're like, okay, Mom, it's time to go to bed soon. Okay, we have a person here holding a vase. Yeah. And here we have another person. You can see the arms, the head, maybe kind of a dress or an apron. We have a goat on one side. I'm trying to see. It looks like a skull, maybe an animal skull over here. So we have a water bearer, a bringer of that life source, that great emotionality, those emotional waters, those creative waters. Okay. And we have, I can't help but think that this is somebody, I almost wonder if they're Scorpio. This looks like a Scorpio symbol. Somebody... And it's so on the nose. I don't want to say like exactly that. This is the symbol of somebody who maybe partook or partakes in low magic, folk magic, maybe some kind of witchcraft or fetish or whatever. But we have the goat. So we have Capricorn. We have Saturn. We have a person, a human in the middle, and we have the skull. So somebody who is close to the nature of the night side, okay? Somebody who is close to death in some ways, time, a keeper of time. And I wonder if this is somebody who is an elder or an ancestor. If you come from a family of magical practitioners, diviners, people who are maybe psychic or otherwise, talented in the arts. But I look at this and you might think, okay, you're saying this is a witch or whatever. But it's not like that. It's not like that. I think that this is, somebody who maybe could have even been like an herbalist or somebody who worked in women's health, before the modern era of Western medicine, I should say. But I'm looking at it. I feel like it flows through your family. I feel like there's also a sense of, and now I don't really believe in family curses, not in the way that we think of them as, oh, something happened and there was a curse put on the family. I don't really think that. I think that family curses are things that are, carried with us, beliefs, the way that we treat one another, things that are behavioral, worldviews, the circumstances that we kind of continue to live in, cycles of, and so on, generational abuses and this kind of thing. So I kind of wonder if there is a sense of trying to, well, and we were just talking about the karmic work, breaking, emotional debt. And karmic work is often generational as well. So I do feel like there is this real connection to your line, your ancestral line. I also feel like there is a real push through this line to shift out of some of the circumstances that have come about over the generations. Okay, and to choose a better way with the information, the opportunity, the ability to do other things. This is really, I feel like it comes through in maybe, your vision work, your dream work, your magical work, whatever it is. And I 100% believe that you are some kind of practitioner, formal or otherwise. You are probably clairvoyant, intuitive, a healer, somebody, a medium maybe, a diviner, whatever. You have the ability to communicate with that other thing. You're not going to prove me wrong at all. I believe it. But we have that water bearer too. Powerful symbols. So really, if you could think of, pouring out the old and bringing in new waters. Okay. And I really feel like this is your work. This is really important. It's so much of your life. And I think that you've known that things that have gone on in your life they affected you. I think more than any other time in your life, it's acutely there. You're so aware of it. You're acutely aware of it. And maybe you have grandchildren, your own children, whatever it is, you're watching them grow up. You're seeing, you're seeing that the world is changing constantly, and so we must as well. Okay, and we must abandon the old things that don't serve us. We will not carry outmoded ways of treating one another, of this living in such a small world, which you have to imagine if you are my age or older, and I'm in like 40, around 40. You lived in a time before the internet. You lived in a time before cell phones. That the world felt a lot smaller at times. That we relied heavily on the people that were in our immediate reality. Okay, well now the world is a lot different. There are a lot of people growing up now who have only known the world to be fully a global society. And their experience of reality is quite different. And so, I think that there's a sense of things really opening up so much, so quickly, that we have to change. We have to evolve as beings in some way. So it is the work. It is the work of us oldies who remember the old, how little the world used to be, and just like our lack of, information. I mean, I'm not even that old, really. I mean, I feel like it, but you went to the library to go look things up. You had to ask people directly. You didn't, not getting on a search engine to find out, but you had to go and ask somebody and hope that they knew what the heck they, at least a little bit, what they knew what they were talking about. Or that their information wasn't from, you know, a long, long time ago. You know, so there are a lot of things. And it's so important for us to continue to try to let go of some of that old stuff. Really, really, really. And some of it can stay. Some of it, you know, has been tossed out too quickly. And I've learned a lot of that from having a young child, especially when she was an infant, newborn infant. A lot of things that went out of style have now come back into, just in the way that we, you know, raise our young children, which is really interesting. Okay, so we have a bunch of hearts. We do. And we have a person walking towards this like cluster of hearts. And I feel like through this work, I just feel like you're so connected with your whole lineage here. And as all this is happening, as you are really, I mean, being so brave, but you are also like really backed up by your ancestors. There's just so much love. There's such a warmth, like a glow, right, in your life. Even where things are so hard, I can imagine just sometimes sitting there sobbing. It's just, you know, you think about some of the stuff that has gone on with the people that you love, the things that they have endured, maybe the things that you have endured, and it is paralyzing. It is a terror. And there's nothing to do but cry about it at times. But through that process of really looking at it, not hiding it away in some drawer, you know, the unspoken thing, the thing that we don't talk about. But you look at it. And you decide, no more. We're not going to carry this, you know, bad word. Put a bad word there. We're not going to carry this with us anymore. It's not going to, you know, be left in the dark. To grow, like, you know, like some fungus that just gets into everything, into the bones of the thing, and carry it along through the family. No more. I'm going to be, you know, the brave one. And we are, collectively, we're going to be the ones that say, we're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. It's done. And that might not make us the most, you know, beloved ones. It might not make us, you know, the ones that people think of as the most, you know, most fondly or whatever. But you know what? It's like somebody has to do it. Somebody has to. Or it's never going to end. So, let's take a look at these affirmation cards. Oh, you little silly. You really found your way up here, didn't you? I have this new like sound thing over here, and it's like a maze for the cats to get in now. Well, hello, Pudgy. Okay, so we have the Cincy Child affirmation cards. I'm going to go ahead and just flip through them. We're going to stop where it feels right. I'm going to flip it over and we're going to read it together. And it says, I honor the space where I'm at and all the steps that got me here. I feel like that is the perfect punctuation for this reading. I honor the space where I am at and all of the steps that got me here. Yes. All right, Gemini. I'm going to tell you that I love you. First of all, I love you. I love you. And I hold space for you. And I'm proud of you for the work that you are doing. Okay? I'm always so honored to be able to bring these messages to you. The cat is sneezing in the back there. So honored to be able to bring these messages to you. It is such a privilege for me to be able to do so. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it does help the channel quite a bit. If you have not subscribed, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. We would love to have you here as part of the community. And it is a lovely community, and it is growing, and it's, you know, just full of lovely, supportive people. And I see that in the comments constantly. You all supporting each other. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment yourself, please do. I read them all. They mean a lot to me. They truly, truly do. So, again, I love you. We will talk again soon. Take care of yourself.